Welcome back to the Top Agent Podcast. I'm here today with my co-host, Ryan. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm okay. Today we have a special guest, Lisa AXIOS from Boston, and I'm so excited to chat with her.
Yes, Lisa is a very good agent out of Boston, as you said, and she's also a motivational speaker. So let's get right into it. Everybody, please join me in welcoming Lisa Axios. Welcome to the show, Lisa. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Ryan and Stacy. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm excited, looking forward to this too.
So we like to always start by digging a little bit into your background. So we want to know, what was life like? Go way back before real estate.
So I was a restaurant owner for 20 plus years with my former husband. He and I had 5 kids, and we ran a restaurant. It was pretty crazy. And then when we divorced, I had to find something else to do because we were working together all the time.
Yeah.
So I went back and became an esthetician, which was something I had done years before.
Neat.
And then my neighbor is a home inspector, and he just kept saying, you should be in real estate. And so I took his advice.
So let me just ask you a couple of off topic, maybe a little bit. Do you still use him as a home inspector?
Yes, I do. He's great.
So how long did you have the restaurant business for? Because whenever we do these interviews, we find a very diverse background. Like, it's pretty rare that we find somebody that, finished high school and started in real estate. They are out there, but everyone seems to have come from a much different background.
Yes, I mean, we started our first restaurant in 1993. We opened, 93, 94, we were right there. So we started our first restaurant. We ended up with 3. And I don't know, it kind of, for me, I think real estate really is kind of on the same level with restaurants, that like restaurants and real estate kind of
They ride the same roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely
Full
agree.
service.
Yeah. And you're from Boston, so your restaurants were in Boston as well?
A little bit on the South Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
20 minutes out of Boston.
I can
So
definitely see that because, sorry, Stacy, I was just going to say, when I was bartending for a short time, the social thing where you kind of talk to everybody about everything is very similar to real estate.
Yes. So what did that start into real estate look like for you then? Where did you go? Which brokerage? And then I think it's a little different for you guys, but getting your license in real estate. So.
Oh yeah, it was a bit of a struggle to get my license. You always hear people get it right away. I studied, failed. 4th time. It may even have been the 5th time. Just to
made it.
That I actually passed the test. I hadn't studied in a long time, and I have 5 kids, and I was like, nothing stuck in my brain. And I don't know how it is where you guys are, but I feel like the test does not prepare you for really real estate. But
no.
So finally I got it, and I started at a small brokerage. It was a independent brokerage, kind of locally. They have a few different offices. And I was introduced from the home inspector to somebody who was supposed to be really great at training. And he actually was, which is really awesome. He's actually my partner now.
Oh,
so he was my mentor at this small brokerage. And that was for a couple of years. And then we ended up going to Keller Williams after that. He had been there, and then he said, hey, I kept saying, everything you do kind of talks about it's like Keller Williams. So why are we not there? So ended up, we went there, and we were there for a couple of years. And then, I think it was so I was licensed in the end of 13. In 2015, I started full-time in real estate. And then went from Keller Williams to EXP because I find that it's like Keller Williams on steroids. It's it's just way more. It's more exciting. It's much more.
Yeah. So all those things basically drew you in, but is there anything else that stood out about EXP that kind of pushed you in that direction? Because we do get a lot of people from Keller Williams, it seems, but and maybe just because it's a mindset thing.
Yeah, I think I thought to myself, I thought I would be at KW forever. I really loved it. Was on, ALC. I was leadership, teaching classes, doing all of that. So I really was ingrained in that market center. And then when I saw EXP, my son, I have two realtor sons.
Oh,
So one of them was at EXP, and
oh,
he had heard about it before, and people had talked to me about it, and I was just pushing it off. And then he said, "Mom, you just got to check it out. Just look at how this is. Look." And I don't know what it is that it's hard to grasp what you really get till you
yeah,
just go bam. You hear it right, and you understand that I could not make the move. It
yeah.
would just be crazy to think the rest of my life I didn't at least try and see what it was all about. So when I came, I just felt like I had a huge ceiling. The ceiling, I thought KW didn't have a ceiling until I came to EXP, and then I'm like, oh, this is what no ceiling feels like. Like I can do anything.
Yes.
So I felt very excited.
I bet your son was really happy when you
Oh, he was very happy. He was very happy.
So let me ask you a question then. Was your son your sponsor?
I was
He was,
wondering.
yes, he is my sponsor, and his sponsor is AJ Mita. So
Okay, we are on the same team.
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, so when you got into EXP, was your son already active with revenue share, and then did you follow suit, or are you
Not too much, but now he is because he's got us. But, he was not so much. I mean, he was kind of working it, but he had moved to Florida, so he was starting in a brand new market for him,
Oh, okay.
and so that was a little tough to get started there. And I have recently, brought some people on,
Nice.
and I've just, I had to find the way to do it that worked well for me. And I found that I talked to a lot of people who said, EXP is amazing. Everybody that is a realtor would be here, but the only problem is there's a communication problem. Like it's hard to communicate what happens here. And that is the only problem. Otherwise people would be like, why would they not be here? So I do a lot of masterminds and things like that. I'm a John Maxwell certified leadership coach.
Oh, wow.
So I do masterminds, and that's been a really big thing for me, adding people to that, and they start to see their personal growth. And that's what I focus on, is a lot of personal growth, because your business grows to the extent that you do. So I find that has really been a good way of getting people excited and joining.
That's really interesting. I have been poking Ryan about doing masterminds lately, so maybe this will encourage that a little more. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're just trying to find new ways, right? And
Mhm.
not necessarily to reinvent the wheel, but just kind of make it better. So,
Oh, so one of the things I do is I put together a lot of questions when I meet with an agent, and the questions have almost nothing to do with real estate.
okay.
So I talk about, do you have a personal growth plan? If you could do anything in your life, what would it be? Is there anything that you'd like to do, but you're embarrassed to tell someone? Just like thought-provoking questions. And then it's just turns into this amazing conversation, and you really get to know them. And then it's like they want more, and it gets more interesting. And then I start, well, what are your goals for the year? How many houses do you want to sell? So kind of leads into
Very
that.
interesting.
That seems like almost a Dale Carnegie-esque approach.
Yeah. How to win.
Yeah, I'm in that book right now. I'm in the last, well, I'm on Audible, so last 30 minutes of it. So definitely kind of rings a bell there.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting way to break down walls, just asking a lot of questions and let people talk about themselves.
Everyone likes to be heard.
Everybody is on WIIFM. What's in it for me?
Yeah,
That's,
that's excellent. I like
that's
it.
the channel.
Yeah.
Get that tattooed. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
That's awesome.
So shifting back to just traditional real estate for a second, what are you doing to adapt to a changing market?
Old school tactics.
Yes.
So I've always been an old school person. I really started my business with expired listings and I love them. I love them. So I have one right now. So I'm like an old school. I like to do the calls, but I also find the belly to belly is good. So we've implemented on our team that everybody has to have like 4 places to farm. Pick one a week, go out and give a market report in that neighborhood from 50 to 100 homes. And all you do is knock, knock, market report, walk away. And so you do that to 100 homes in like one neighborhood. Then the next week, the other neighborhood. So you do 4. And then next month, you do those 4 again. So we're just implementing that. Tomorrow's going to be a warm day here in Boston. So tomorrow's like definitely the door knock day. But we make it really simple and say, knock, knock, market report. And then that's kind of something new we're doing.
It's
We
interesting.
can door knock around our listings and buy sides and things like that, but this is going to be a new farming type of thing. So
That's a very interesting way to make that easier for people, because they're handing them some material and walking away. And if they stop you for a conversation, bonus.
yeah,
But I have done door knocking and it is terrifying.
Yes. Cold calling, door knocking, terrifying. Yes. So, what advice could you give newer agents like looking to grow their real estate business?
So I'd say the same thing. I'd say you got to talk to as many people as you possibly can.
Okay.
And do not get stuck with analysis paralysis. Get into action, and then you will learn with action. If you just keep studying and put people in your CRM, you need to learn and earn. So I just feel like, don't be shy. This is the business that and I think, people kind of feel a little salesy when they're beginning, like, oh, I want, you got to kind of, I think mind shift is really important for agents. That's why I really love the personal growth. So when you know that you're coming from contribution, it makes it easier to do those things.
That's excellent.
Yes.
Now here's one, and I've seen some of your YouTube videos. I enjoy them very much. What role do you feel social media is playing in real estate?
Okay, so this is really good because our director of operations had tons of, we do videos every day, Market Monday, Tip Tuesday, Word of the Week Wednesday, think about it Thursday and Fun Friday, right? So we do those. We did them for like a year. I can't say, people say, I see your videos, they're awesome, but it's an awareness, but they have not called and said, or no one that I know has called and said, hey, I saw your video and now I want to hire you.
Yeah.
So social media is the awareness, and so they know who you are. And then when you meet them, they're like, wow, this is awesome. But they're not going to probably call you from a lot of that social media. I haven't found that that's, really happened. And I think we've done a really good job about, putting things out there consistently. So it's always back to the basics again.
That's excellent. Yeah, keeping it top of mind.
Mm.
Yeah. I have one more question before we get into some off-topic questions.
I have one
talk to you a little bit. Oh, you have some more too, Stacy? I want to ask you about your motivational speaking.
Okay. So that's something I started, I think 21. I signed on with the John Maxwell team. I got certified about a year ago, and I'm working, the funny thing was I really want to work with adults, and somehow I'm also working with kids on a really cool basis. This kind of turned into something fun. And so I'm doing some personal coaching, masterminds, and then I have a company I call Compass for Kids, and it's just helping kids kind of find their way. So I do that every Wednesday. and I do like leadership development for them. And it's funny, I did some free ones at the library, and then they, the mom called and said, "Hey, we got a grant, and we'd love to pay you to come and do leadership development for kids." So I'm the mom of 5 kids, and I was like, I don't want any more kids, But it's been very rewarding, but I really want to be more motivational. I mean, I feel like I've had a lot of failures in my life. I've had a lot of struggles, and being able to pick yourself up again is like the best thing ever. And everyone can do it, but it's kind of hard, to see that you can do it. And
Yeah.
I can't remember who I was, because who I was years ago was just not who I am now. And so I want to help people to find, just feel great about every day, and find what makes them happy, and click, and, view the world in a great way, have purpose.
That's awesome. That kind of makes me think, I was thinking about this the other day after I spoke to you. Have you heard of like the EXP Power Girls group?
I have. I've
You
heard
should-
of it, but haven't
Yeah,
really.
you should jump on. I can get more information for you, but we actually have one of the Canadian coordinators on our team, and it's every Wednesday, and they basically just get different female speakers in there, and I think that you would be a great speaker for us to have. So,
Oh, that would be so fun. I
yeah.
love it. I'm trying to get on stage with John Maxwell in March, to be on stage at the International Maxwell Conference. It's down in Orlando. So send me some good vibes. I've been sending in my videos every week, and I'm not sure if I'm going to make it, but I'm hoping
That's
to.
awesome. Yeah, we actually do in Canada, and I know they're doing them in the States too, in different areas, but EXP Power Girls will have like in-person events, and it'll just be like a bunch of female realtors that'll go out for lunch and just talk about life. So
I love it.
yeah, it's kind of neat. And speaking of that, I was wondering if you want to tell us a bit about your Monday morning mindset calls. That's something I'd be interested in popping
So
in.
I do that every Monday at 8 a.m. A lot of people tell me it's a little too early, but I'm there. So 8 a.m. and I'm working right now on the 15 irrefutable laws of leadership. So every week we do a chapter. Like last week was the law of the environment, and who you surround yourself with. Before that was the law of consistency and compounding. So each week we are diving into a chapter of the book, and I also, I have a key, so you can see, we can kind of look through questions. I also have a PowerPoint that goes with that.
Oh, nice.
Generally, I'm done in between 30 and 45 minutes. I try to keep it short so people really feel like, they can get on with their day. We did what was the other one we did right before that? Now I'm drawing a blank, but how to be a person of influence. That was the first one we did, which is great because you influence so many people in your lives. And as realtors, the average person is 10,000. So you can imagine, as a realtor, we reach out how many people we actually influence, and we have to be aware of ourselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll look into that. So we have training. I think you're an hour ahead of us, I believe. So that would line up.
Yes.
Right over. It would be at the same time as our training, but we don't always have it. So I could jump in one day.
Okay. I'm going to do another one in the afternoon, because I know there's some people who have said, it's a little tough on the time. So
I definitely get up early, but I'm in the gym in the morning. So
that's awesome.
Nice. Now for the Ryan, are you good, or we can jump into the fun questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite movie of all times?
The Sound of Music.
Oh, that was a quick answer.
It's always been, it hasn't changed yet.
What is your favorite thing to do when you're not doing real estate?
I love the coaching part, but I think my most favorite thing is I cook a lot, having restaurants in the past. And I love when my kids are here, and we try to do every Sunday to try to get together and have a dinner. So I love eating and talking, and that's fun for me.
That's awesome.
What book has had the most influence on you?
So, gosh, there's so many, right? Think and Grow Rich was one I've read over and over again, and also the one I'm doing the mastermind on, the 15 laws, the 15 invaluable laws of growth, has really been another one. But I guess Think and Grow Rich was the one I kept reading and saying, they keep telling me I might find out what the real secret is here in the first chapter, the second chapter. So, it takes a while, to just get it. It's a little easier than you think.
That's interesting. That one is on my, it's sitting over there. I have to read it. So, hardest question of the day. What is the single best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Because it's only one?
No, you can fire them all off if you want.
Okay. So when I opened my first restaurant, I met with the landlord, who was a very, wealthy woman. And she said, "So why do you want to make money?" And I said, "Why not? I don't know." And she said, "Well, I'll tell you exactly why you want to make money. So you have choices in life. Because if you don't have money, you can't have choices. You're going to be stuck with what you can get."
This is true.
Wow. So that's never left me. And I think I was 24. And then, the Zig Ziglar quote, you can help as many people if you can help as many people get what they want, you'll get what you want. I think that's also been one. And one last one is from John Maxwell: value people and they'll help to value other people. So, you really pour into people and they pour into other people, and you can create more leaders. So I don't know. I have thousands of them. So
Well, that's awesome. That's great advice. That's great.
That's it for today, Lisa.
Well, thank you. Sorry, I hope I didn't
we thank you so much for joining us.
Well,
it was great, and we hope to do this again with you some point in the future.
Yes.
Awesome. I'd love that.